You are not bad with money. You are not lazy. You are not failing. You are playing a game that was never designed for you to win. Welcome to Finance Mysteries, where money, power, and history collide, and nothing is as simple as it looks. The Big Illusion. From childhood, we are taught one story. Study hard, get a job, work honestly, save money, and one day life will be stable. But look around. Millions follow this formula perfectly and still struggle, still stressed, still trapped. So today, we ask a dangerous question. What if the problem is not you? What if the system itself quietly keeps people broke? Not by force, not by law, but by design. Trick number 1. Inflation. Stealing without taking. Inflation sounds boring. A small number, a few percentages. Most people ignore it. But inflation is one of the most powerful financial tools on Earth. Here is what inflation really does. Every year, your money buys less. Not dramatically, slowly, quietly. Your savings lose value while doing nothing. If inflation is 5%, your money loses 5% of its power every year. And here's the key point. Governments benefit from inflation. Why? Because governments are the biggest borrowers. Your savings shrink, their debt shrinks. Nobody sends you a bill. Nobody asks permission. It just happens. Open loop. But inflation alone is not enough, because people might still save. So the system adds another layer. Trick number 2. Saving is punished. You're told to save money, so you open a savings account. The bank gives you maybe 2% interest. Inflation is 6%. You lose 4% every year for being responsible. At the same time, assets rise. Houses rise, stocks rise, land rises. Who owns assets? Mostly the wealthy. So inflation becomes a wealth transfer from savers to asset owners. The poor save cash. The rich buy assets. One group falls behind, the other pulls ahead. Trick number 3. Taxes you never notice. Most people think tax means income tax. That is only the surface. There's sales tax, fuel tax, electricity tax, import tax, property tax. And inflation itself acts like a tax. By the time your money reaches you, it has already been cut. When you spend it, it is cut again. The poor spend most of what they earn. That means they pay the highest effective tax rate. Not officially, but in reality. Mini cliffhanger. But taxes are only part of the trap. The real trap begins when debt becomes normal. Trick number 4. Debt as a way of life. Debt used to be emergency only. Now it's marketed as freedom. Swipe now, pay later. Student loans, car loans, credit cards, 30-year mortgages. Debt keeps you working. Debt keeps you obedient. When you own money, you cannot take risks. You cannot stop. You cannot slow down. Interest never sleeps. You do not own your future. You rent it. Story pause. Think about the average person. They start adult life already in debt. They work to survive. They borrow to breathe. Years pass. They're busy, but not free. That's not an accident. Trick number 5. Wages that never catch up. Here's something strange. Workers are more productive than ever. Technology improved everything. But wages stay behind. Why? Because wages are a cost. Cheap labor helps governments and corporations. Inflation rises faster than salaries. So every year, you work harder for less real value. On paper, income rises. In real life, purchasing power falls. Open loop. So why do people accept this? Why is there no mass resistance? The answer is psychological. Trick number 6. Distraction is cheaper than education. Most schools don't teach money properly. No inflation, no debt mechanics, no banking systems. Instead, entertainment everywhere. Drama, outrage, trends. Argue with strangers. Fight culture wars. Don't ask financial questions. A population that understands money is hard to control. A distracted one is easy. Trick number 7. Blame the individual. If you struggle, the message is simple. Try harder. Wake up earlier. Work longer. Hustle more. Systemic problems become personal failures. People blame themselves, and shame keeps them quiet. When everyone feels alone, no one connects the dots. Mini Mantler. But the most powerful trick is still coming, because it controls your emotions. Trick number 8. Fear and dependence. Fear keeps systems stable. Fear of losing a job. Fear of missing rent. Fear of medical bills. When people are financially insecure, they accept almost anything. Low wages. Bad conditions. Unfair rules. Not because they agree, because they're scared. Trick number 9. Rules that keep changing. Just when people adapt, the rules change. Interest rates rise. Taxes shift. Prices jump. Planning becomes impossible. Stability creates independence. Uncertainty creates dependence. Pattern interrupt. Here's the truth. Governments don't need you rich. They need you predictable. Working. Borrowing. Paying. Comfortable enough not to revolt. Stressed enough not to relax. The big realization. This system doesn't collapse people. It slowly drains them. No dramatic moment, no clear villain. Just quiet pressure. Year after year. What this means for you. This is not about panic. It's about clarity. When you understand the system, you stop blaming yourself for structural traps. You start asking better questions. Why does saving feel useless? Why does hard work not equal security? Why does debt feel unavoidable? Now you know. The unsettling truth. If the system truly wanted everyone financially secure, it would reward saving. Teach money early. Protect wages. But it doesn't. Because financially independent people are hard to control. So the system keeps people busy. Distracted. Almost okay. If this made you uncomfortable, that's a good sign. Because once you see the game clearly, you stop playing it blindly. And from that moment on, nothing about money ever looks the same again.